Hi. Have you had any close contact with anyone in the last 14 days that has been diagnosed with COVID-19, or has any health department or healthcare provider been in contact with you and asked you to quarantine?
No, ma'am.
Since the last time you were at school, have you had any of the following symptoms? Fever, chills, shortness of breath, difficulty breathing, new cough, or a new loss of taste or smell?
No, ma'am.
And since you were last at school, have you been diagnosed with COVID-19?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to check your temperature. Very good.
Excellent. Hi, I'm Rob Jackson, Superintendent of the Carteret County Public School System. With me is one of our incredible school nurses, Miss Jessica Shearin. Miss Shearin, thank you for spending a few moments with me. Ms. Shearin, serving as one of our school nurses here at White Oak Elementary School, has been among our leaders in helping us ensure that we're doing everything we can to keep our students and staff members safe. What you've just seen is a wellness check. Before our students come into the building, or any of our staff members come into the building, they go through that same screening every single day. Before they get onto the school buses, they also have a screening. How are those screenings going, Ms. Shearin?
I feel like they're going well. At first, it took a little time to get used to reading the script. I think a lot of our parents are getting comfortable with what the questions are, so they anticipate what the answer would be in advance, so that helps to move things along.
Excellent. Ms. Shearin, if someone had a temperature as you checked the temperature, what would happen then?
As soon as we noted somebody had a temperature, whether that was at the bus stop or here at school, if you're at the bus stop, we have you go back and not load the bus. We don't want you to get on the bus if there's any reason that you shouldn't be allowed on. So we would contact the school to let them know so we could reach out to that parent to follow up. If it were here at school, it depends on the school's process as to how they handle that. Here, we go out, we check out to see what's going on. It could be that it was a really hot day and that we needed to give it a few minutes, let the air condition cool us off a bit and recheck it. But we take those steps so that the person isn't allowed in the building.
Absolutely. Those wellness checks are incredibly critical. Also critical are the 3 W's, and one of the things I've been very impressed with is all of our students and staff members who are really doing a great job with the 3 W's. Share with us, what are the 3 W's?
So the 3 W's, we want you to wash your hands, wait 6 feet, wash, wait, put me on the spot here.
And wear a mask.
And wear a mask. Should have been an M.
Exactly. You know, the truth is, Ms. Shearin, we've been wearing these masks since, well back into the summer, and certainly every day that school has been open, we almost get to the point that we don't notice it anymore. And you know, early on, we were somewhat concerned about whether or not our students would do well with the mask. How are the students reacting here at White Oak Elementary School in terms of wearing their mask?
So we've gotten great feedback as far as the kids' ability to wear them. I have a 10-year-old myself. I was concerned that she'd be able to wear it all day, and we actually, even now when we're going places at home, she'll continue wearing it even past the point where she has to, because she said she's just gotten so used to it, it doesn't bother her anymore.
And you know, I'm seeing that throughout the school system, whether it's in our elementary schools, our middle schools, or our high schools, our students and staff members are doing an incredible job wearing their masks. Now, they're allowed to take a quick mask break. How does that work, Ms. Shearin?
So each school has something set up different for that, but when you are 6 feet away, you're able to take a break. Either you're at your desk and we're able to ensure that everybody's at their own area and not crossing into your 6 feet of space, or even when you have an outside opportunity to make that happen.
And even though it's a quick mask break, I think our students and staff members really enjoy that moment that they're able to take off the mask just for that quick break. They can also, of course, take their mask off when they're having lunch or perhaps engaged in physical activity, as I understand.
Yes.
Our school nurses have done a wonderful job with giving feedback as the school system has worked through the various transitions we've gone through reopening schools as we've returned to learn in the 2020-2021 school year. recently, our Governor Roy Cooper, gave school systems the opportunity to consider transitioning to Plan A, which is allowing for elementary schools, allowing all of our elementary students to return to 5 days a week face-to-face learning. And so what that means is that some things will be changing for us. Our board did approve that, and on October 19th, and our school system will go to Plan A. So what are some of the things that'll stay the same first, Ms. Shearin? What stays the same for us under Plan A in terms of what we're currently doing?
So Plan A stays the same in that everybody continues to wear their mask. We're continuing washing hands and good hand sanitizing. We're continuing with the cleaning processes that are already in place. We're continuing with waiting 6 feet apart where that's possible. We're continuing not doing the things that would put a lot of people in one place at one time. I think the key differences for me that I noted were in the classroom, we're going to allow for more students to be in there. So it may be that in the classroom, we're not guaranteed the 6 feet that we were in Plan B. Also on the bus, there's going to be some changes as to the number that can be in each seat. So those were the key differences that I saw. All of the other items are going to be staying the same and even improved on if we're able to do that.
Absolutely. And so we're not changing the wellness screen. We're still going to remain 6 feet apart in any of our public areas, in our hallways, cafeteria, any of the areas we might meet. But as you shared, in the classroom, we could be within 6 feet. On the school bus, we could be within 6 feet, depending on the bus route. And I guess where that really may come into play is the concept of close contacts. I know that our school nurses are in almost daily contact, and sometimes multiple times a day, with our local health department, the Carteret County Health Department, who've been phenomenal to work with. They've done such a great job, I think, and really helping us in this moment. And so let's kind of back up. If you learned that an individual in the school had tested positive for COVID-19, what steps as a school nurse do you take at that moment?
So each person that has a diagnosis of COVID, it's a unique situation. So what we do is contact the health department immediately. They help us to walk through that person's day based on whether they had symptoms or whether it was just a test that was positive, to determine how far back we need to trace to see if anyone was within that 15-minute window within 6 feet of them. So they assist the person in walking through their day to help determine who they may have been in close contact with. So, like you said, it's a very individual situation, and so you might think back to when you're in the classroom, if you had gotten in close proximity with someone, if you had ridden in the same car with someone or on the bus who you would have been close with.
And so you mentioned that magic window, and let's talk about that for just a moment. So as I understand, the way the health department defines a close contact, which would mean someone who would have to quarantine for 14 days, I believe, is within 6 feet for a cumulative 15 minutes. What does that mean, that cumulative 15 minutes?
So over the period of time that the health department helps us to identify that that person could have been contagious, if along in that time frame someone was in close contact within the 6 feet for a cumulative time of 15 minutes. So if you saw that person 10 minutes one day and another 10 minutes another day, those times together, of course, would be over your 15-minute mark.
I see. And so one of the reasons that we've been waiting 6 feet apart in Plan B throughout the building, including our classrooms and buses, is that we do need to maintain that 6 feet. Under Plan A, we certainly want our parents to be able to make an informed decision, and so we do want you to know that in the classroom, we could be within 6 feet, and so then we would be more than 15 minutes, we'd presume, over the course of a school day. Now that doesn't mean in the public areas we'll still be 6 feet apart, and we'll still be washing our hands and wearing our masks, but certainly that could happen. And so I wonder, Ms. Shearin, really, as you think back to this summer, I had the opportunity to meet with our school nurses, who, by the way, are just absolutely phenomenal. I so appreciate our school nurses. And we sat down and we began to talk about what this year might look like and the procedures we needed to put in place and really planning how this year would go. Here we are now 6 weeks into the year. And so really thinking about when we started back in July and that meeting we all had together to this moment, how do you think we're doing?
So I think for everyone involved, it was probably a pretty scary time to think about what something we had never had to deal with ever, really.
That's right.
Would look like, how the processes would come together, how entry into school would happen, how the school day would go with the students and the adults having to wear masks. And I would say it's going much better than anybody maybe could have even anticipated now that we've seen it in action. I know the health department brought up that things change all the time.
That's right.
I feel like that's been a tough part of all of this, the uncertainty of what's going on. But we're all learning to be flexible. We're all learning about guidance and policies and procedures, and so it's been an adventure.
It has been an adventure. That's the perfect description. It has been an adventure. You mentioned the word flexible, and we've certainly been required to be very flexible, and I'm so appreciative of our nurses, our staff members, our teachers, our administrators, because they've been flexible. We're also appreciative of our parents and students because they've been incredibly flexible. The other word I would probably add to that is the word grace. We certainly have needed a lot of grace as we've gone through so many changes, and we've seen so much grace being extended, and so we appreciate that. And so parents, as you begin to make decisions, community members, as you begin to see the school moving into Plan A for our elementary schools, and at some point when the governor allows, perhaps our middle schools and high schools will be going to Plan A as well, and the changes begin to occur, we do want you to be able to make an informed decision. I want you to know that incredible school nurses like Ms. Shearin are doing everything they can to take care of our students and staff and to help us with great guidance. The health department has been absolutely outstanding with all that they've done for us and their leadership. We certainly appreciate them. But if you have questions, please ask those questions, because we do want you to have the opportunity to ask those questions to make a great decision for yourself, because as Nurse Shearin said, every single situation is unique. Every individual, it's a little different, and so we know you've got to make the best decision that you possibly can. Ms. Shearin, thank you for spending time with me. Thank you for this incredible work you're doing every single day. We very much appreciate you and your colleagues. My friends, it's a pleasure and it's an honor to serve each of you. We want to say thank you for all that you're doing. We want to thank our students, our staff members, our teachers, our principals, our school nurses. Because of them and because of your support, we have been Carteret Strong. We are Carteret Strong, and we will remain Carteret Strong.